she brings about life through the words that she speaks. Let it happen to me as you say. Interesting, it was something that hadn't really dawned on me all that much. For years I've been preaching that it was at the foot of the cross that the Blessed Mother became Mother of the Church. Well, Father Kentenich says, well, it wasn't necessarily there. That's where she received the testament, where Jesus says, now you go. But she became Mother of the Church the moment that she said, let it happen to me as you say. It hadn't dawned on me this way before. So I appreciate, see, Father Kentenich, he says, even an old dog can learn. Right, and I haven't picked up, but you're going to pick up on that pedagogical 1951. And I know that I thought I had read it here in this book, The Family, where Father says that mother and father have to be the priest and the priestess in the domestic church. That's where this all happens. The Marian dimension of Christian life takes on special importance. This is in number 46 and the following. It can thus be said that women, by looking to Mary, find in her the secret of living their femininity with dignity and of achieving their own true advancement. In the light of Mary, the Church sees in the face of women the reflection of a beauty which mirrors the loftiest sentiments of which the human heart is capable. Wow. Have you ever looked in the mirror that way?
Can you repeat that, Father?
In the light of Mary, the Church sees in the face of women the reflection of a beauty which mirrors the loftiest sentiments of which the human heart is capable. What is that? That is the self-offering totality of love. The strength that is capable of bearing the greatest sorrows, limitless fidelity and tireless devotion to work, the ability to combine penetrating intuition with words of support and encouragement. Good grief.
Yes.
Did you know that you had all that?
And what is the document, Father?
But only in the light
Mother of the
of
Redeemer.
Mary. If we associate it with the Blessed Mother, then this all becomes real. And that's definitely a priestly ministry that we can exercise. The document is Mother of the Redeemer.
Okay.
It's a
In Latin, Redentoris Mater. And if you just punch on that on all these modern computers, they immediately list and they send you to the website there.
By which Pope?
John Paul II. These are all documents from John Paul II. At the council, he's referring now to Vatican Council II, of course, Paul VI solemnly proclaimed that Mary is the mother of the Church. That is, mother of the entire Christian people, both faithful and pastors. In 1968, he restated this truth in an even more forceful way of these words. We believe that the most holy Mother of God, the new Eve, the Mother of the Church, carries on in heaven her maternal role with regard to the members of Christ, cooperating in the birth and development of divine life in the souls of the redeemed. Again, that whole baptismal aspect is very much present in here. That's number 47. Again, if you'd like these texts, I'll leave them. Sister Cornelius. There is Father talks about the priestly elements, he likes to talk about the shepherd. And I'm quoting specifically again from this particular book, where he talks about the shepherd's understanding, the shepherd's love, and what have you, that this is a kind of priestly ministry that we as lay people can exercise. He says, our first task as parents should be to use every means to see that the church in miniature is immunized from the effects of all of the secularism that's going on. Immunized. We give our family to the Blessed Mother, and then she has to renew it. And this happens, of course, in the shrine. Excuse me. And so, Father and Mother share in Christ's office of teacher, of priest, and of shepherd. And I think that for our purposes, that threefold aspect is all very important for us to take into ourselves. A child's education is complete around the age of 3. What does Father say? The education that we give our children must include the whole person. If that doesn't happen, if from childhood on a person is not educated for religious values and anchored in them, when the storm comes, it will sweep everything away. And then he talks about, okay, our sharing in the priestly ministry of Christ, and he more or less uses the expression shepherd back and forth, and he says then more concretely, okay, what does the shepherd have to do? My entire day's work has to be a repetition of the offertory, the consecration, and the communion at Mass. In this way, I share in the priest's sacrificial function. My day's work has got to be permeated by prayer. And then the shepherd. The shepherd who gives his life for his sheep, and maybe 3 aspects of the shepherd that he talks about in particular. He says the shepherd has got to love in an understanding way, benevolent understanding. This becomes very concrete for us. The concrete nature of it comes when we are challenged by our children and we say, I don't want to hear it. A benevolent understanding. What he's referring to there is that I have to be able to absorb the feelings and whatever else of the other person, and this is very specifically in relationship to other members of the family. I have to be able to absorb where they are. He uses the expression, and we have the expression that is somewhat deficient in English, translated from the German. Understanding is a loving taking into oneself. A loving taking into oneself. Maybe the better translation is absorbing. But in a loving manner. Absorbing what the other person has there in him.